I-1 Answers is presented by the Grand River Dam Authority. Additional funding provided by the Gerald H. Westby Jr. Foundation, RCB Bank, the Muscogee Creek Nation, and viewers like you. Thank you.
The Tahlequah Sequoyah Indians and the Wagoner Bulldogs are here to face off on tonight's episode of I-1 Answers. Hey everyone, and welcome to Oklahoma's favorite academic game show, I-1 Answers, presented by GRDA. I'm your host, Anna Berry. Now tonight's teams are the Tahlequah Sequoyah Indians and the Wagoner Bulldogs. Welcome teams. Now these teams are competing for a chance at $12,000 in scholarship money that will be awarded in the championship at the end of the season. Let's start off by meeting the players from Tahlequah Sequoyah. All right, we will start with our team captain, Savannah Francis, and she's a senior. We have a sophomore, Jacob Cummings. We have Christian Smith, also a senior, and Cody Ritchie, a senior. All right, let's meet our Wagoner Bulldogs, starting with our team captain, Mason Watson, senior. Then we have Olivia Wiley, senior. We have Reagan Fulton, senior, and senior Jack Aldridge. Welcome. All right, are you all ready to play Tahlequah? Yeah? Wagoner? Yes? Well, are you ready to play, audience? I know that you all want some questions, but this show is about what I want. And what do I want? Answers. You answered correctly. All right, we begin our competition tonight with the speed round.
First up, the speed round. The speed round consists of individual answered questions worth 10 points each. The first team member to buzz in gets to answer. No conferring between team members is allowed in this round.
All right, are we ready? Buzzer hands ready? All right, here we go. A place where speed limits are enforced by police waiting in concealment to catch motorists who are traveling too fast is called what kind of trap? Wagoner?
Speed trap.
Correct. What Spanish phrase meaning the little boy refers to a major temperature fluctuation in surface waters of the tropical eastern Pacific? Sequoyah?
El Nino.
Correctamundo. All right. Woody Guthrie said that the land from California to the New York Island are from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters was made for whom? Wagoner?
You and me.
Correct. They were. All right. Video question by Shelia Shook, education coordinator at the Tulsa Port of Catoosa.
John L. McClellan and Robert S. Kerr worked to get the federal funding that was needed to build this multi-purpose waterway. They championed the project through years of development, which prompted Congress to officially name the system after them. What political office did these two men hold?
United States Senators. All right, name the office in the United States where the Resolute desk is used. Wagoner?
Speaker of the House.
Incorrect. Sequoyah?
Oval Office.
Correct, the Oval Office. What is the title of William Cullen Bryant's poem that begins with this? Our band is few but true and tried, our leader frank and bold. The British soldier trembles when Marion's name is told. Wagoner?
Charge of the Light Brigade.
Incorrect. Song of Marion's Men. All right, here's a math question.
What is the seventh term of the geometric sequence that begins 3, 12, 48?
All right, no one. The correct answer is 12,288. What Japanese religion lacks established scriptures, doctrines, and priests? Wagoner?
Shinto.
Correct. What two 19th and 20th century leaders masterminded disastrous invasions of Russia? Wagner?
Napoleon and Hitler.
Correct. In the myth of Tantalus, what remains eternally just out of reach above him? Wagner?
The stars.
Incorrect. Correct answer is fruit. Tantalus. All right, we have a video question by Justin Alberty, the VP of Corporate Communications at GRDA.
Electric companies generally use kilowatt hours to measure what?
Sequoyah?
Power consumption.
Incorrect. Well, okay, yes, the judges say that is correct. Electrical use or power consumption. Correct for Sequoyah. All right. What ism, reminiscent of a U.S. senator in the 1950s, means to make unfounding... Wagner?
McCarthyism.
Correct. McCarthyism. Anything of value that a lender finds acceptable to guarantee repayment of a loan is called what? Wagner?
Collateral.
Correct. This passage is about what first lady? After losing 3 of her 4 sons and seeing her husband shot, she was committed to an asylum in 1875. Wagner?
Mary Lincoln?
Correct. George Washington, a delegate to the First and Second Continental Congresses, represented what state? Sequoyah?
Virginia.
Correct. What policy enforced minority rule in South Africa for Wagner?
Apartheid.
Correct. In Little Women, the father of Meg, Joe, Beth, and Amy is serving in what capacity with the Union Army? Wagner?
General.
Incorrect. The correct answer is chaplain. All right, that bell means time's up for the speed round. The score stands at 40 for Sequoyah and 80 for Wagner. Round 2 is coming up next. We'll be right back.
Every day, the employees of the Grand River Dam Authority strive for excellence by focusing on the 5 E's: employees, electricity, environmental stewardship, economic development, and efficiency. We do this by producing low-cost, reliable electricity that touches 75 of the 77 counties in the state. At no cost to the taxpayers, we also manage 70,000 surface acres of lakes and the scenic Illinois River. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity for Oklahoma.
The Gerald H. Westby Jr. Foundation is a proud sponsor of I Want Answers on RSU Public TV. Throughout his life, Gerald Westby worked hard to add to the quality of life through his legacy of support for the arts, arts education, and culture. The Gerald H. Westby Jr. Foundation continues this work.
At RCB Bank, you are not just a number. You are our neighbor, friend, coworker, PTA partner, business owner down the street, and so much more. We value our relationship with you. We are here to serve you at any of our locations or online at rcbbank.com. With over 50 locations across Oklahoma and Kansas, we're everywhere you need us to be. RCB Bank is your hometown community bank, interested in your financial well-being. RCB Bank, that's my bank.
Hi, my name is Savannah Francis. I'm a senior at Sequoyah High School in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, and I am captain of our academic team.
Hello, I'm Jared Cummings. I'm a sophomore from Sequoyah High School.
Hi, I'm Christian Smith. I am a senior at Sequoyah High School.
Hello, I'm Cody Ritchie, and I am also a senior at Sequoyah High School.
You're watching I Want Answers on RSU Public TV.
And welcome back to I Want Answers, presented by GRDA. Teams, are you ready for more questions? Yes. All right. Well, because the advantage round is coming your way next.
Next up, the advantage round. In this round, the teams face off by first attempting to answer a speed question. The team that answers correctly receives 10 points and the opportunity to answer 3 advantage questions worth 10 points each. After the 3 advantage questions, it's back to the speed questions to determine who gets the next advantage. The speed questions can be answered by anyone, but the answers for the advantage questions must come from the team captain.
All right, teams, are we ready? Yeah, all right, let's go with our first speed question. On an alphabetical listing of states, which is just before Maryland? Wagner?
Maine?
Correct. Advantage for Wagner. Your category is abnormal psychology. A few months ago, a person who was found roaming the streets who seemed to be normal in every way, except that he couldn't remember anything about his life. Name this condition.
Amnesia?
Correct. Jean-Jacques Rousseau was obsessed with fears of secret enemies and thought that Prussia, England, France, and others were waging a war against him personally. These are symptoms of what neuroses?
Paranoia?
Correct. Brandon is intensely afraid of standing near a cliff. Sally absolutely hates to fly. Ricky dreads elevators. Jan can't stand open bodies of water. These aversions are examples of what type of neurosis?
Phobias?
Correct. Have a few phobias? Anyone? Anyone? All right. Back to speed questions. Glaucoma is abnormal pressure within what organ? Wagner?
The eye?
Correct. Advantage for Wagner. Persian Gulf. What gulf lies between the Arabian Sea and the Persian Gulf? Pass. It's the Gulf of Oman. What country has the longest border adjacent to both the Gulf of Oman and the Persian Gulf?
Saudi Arabia?
The captain, incorrect, but the captain must answer. Abadan, a major city of Iran, is adjacent to what waterway leading to the Persian Gulf?
The Tigris River?
Incorrect. Shat al-Arab. All right, back to speed. Dr. Verbosity just informed you that, resulting from a minor bacterial infection, you have a small pustulant inflammation on your nose. What do you have? Wagner?
A pimple?
Correct. Advantage for Wagner. Science history. What system developed by Carlos Linnaeus enabled all organisms to be identified with a 2-word name?
Classification system?
Incorrect. Binomial nomenclature. In the 2nd century, what famous Greek of Alexandria developed a model of the solar system that remained central to European astronomical knowledge for over 1,000 years, even though it turned out to be fundamentally wrong?
Copernicus?
Incorrect. Ptolemy. What name did Alfred Wegener propose for the enormous single great proto-continent that once comprised all of Earth's dry lands?
Pangea?
Correct. Back to speed. The death of Chief Sitting Bull at the hands of Indian police led to what massacre in South Dakota? Wagner?
Wounded Knee?
Correct. Advantage for Wagner, and your category is rivers. About 1/10 of mankind depends on what river for transportation and as a source of food and irrigation for agriculture? Yangtze River. What famous orchestral work by Johann Strauss is named for a river of South Central Europe that flows into the Black Sea?
Danube?
Judges? Yes, it is the Blue Danube. What river forms most of the Korean-Manchurian boundary?
The Yellow River?
Excuse me?
Yellow River?
Yellow River, incorrect. Yalu River is correct. Back to speed. According to Erasmus, in what country would the one-eyed man be king? Wagner?
The Blind?
Correct. Advantage for Wagner. Category mountains. Although he failed in his attempt to conquer all of Muslim Spain, Charlemagne did drive the Moors back to the south across what mountain range on the Iberian Peninsula?
Pyrenees.
Correct. On what mountain was the body of George Lee Mallory found in 1999, 75 years after he had disappeared?
Everest.
Correct. In the U.S., the boiling point of water is lowest at the summit of what mountain?
Mount Denali.
Correct. All right, back to speed. Those who opposed ratification of the Constitution were called what? Wagner?
Anti-federalists.
Correct. Advantage for Wagner. Category volcanoes. We're hitting all of the earth here. All right. What was the site of a North American volcanic eruption 640,000 years ago that ejected over 8,000 times more ash than the eruption of Mount St. Helens?
Yellowstone.
Correct. These volcanoes are in what state? Amboy Crater, Inyo Craters, Mammoth Mountain, Lassen Peak, Mount Shasta.
California.
Correct. What Philippine volcano was responsible for creating a volcanic winter in the early 1990s?
Krakatoa.
Incorrect. Mount Pinatubo. All right, back to speed. What two-word idiom for someone who prefers to be by himself is reminiscent of a wild North American carnivore? Wagner?
Lone wolf.
Lone wolf is correct. Advantage for Wagner. Dictators. After overthrowing Chile's elected government in a coup, he had thousands killed and tens of thousands tortured. This 20th century dictator was Augusto who?
Pinochet.
Correct. Eva and Isabel were the two wives of what Argentinian dictator?
Perón.
Juan Perón. Correct. The only break in the hereditary line of British rulers between 1066 and the present day occurred, sorry?
Cromwell.
Cromwell's, Oliver Cromwell's. You're correct. All right. Well, that is the bell, and that's all the time we have for the advantage round. The score stands at 40 for Sequoyah and 280 for Wagner. We've got a few more rounds coming up, so stay with us.
Our world was founded on women. Our identity comes from our mothers.
I carry their wisdom.
The women have taught us our ways and traditions.
I carry my nation.
The women have taught us how to survive. Their strength guides us forward.
I carry on.
We are Muscogee women.
Culture, preserving it, living it.
I Want Answers is made possible by the Tulsa Port of Catoosa, one of the largest, most inland river ports of the U.S. inland river system. Agricultural commodities, building materials, fuel, and machinery are shipped into and out of the Tulsa Port of Catoosa daily using a combination of barge, rail, and truck. To learn more about the Tulsa Port of Catoosa, visit their website at tulsaport.com. And also by Advanced Research Chemicals, providing customer-focused solutions to basic and advanced chemical applications. ARC has a long history of giving back to our local and international communities. For more information, visit fluoridearc.com.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Every day, the employees of the Grand River Dam Authority strive for excellence by focusing on the 5 E's: employees, electricity, environmental stewardship, economic development, and efficiency. We do this by producing low-cost, reliable electricity that touches 75 of the 77 counties in the state. At no cost to the taxpayers, we also manage 70,000 surface acres of lakes and the scenic Illinois River. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity for Oklahoma.
This is the Wagner High School academic team. I'm Mason Watson, the captain, and I'm a senior.
My name is Olivia Wiley, and I'm a senior at Wagner High School.
My name is Reagan Fulton, and I'm also a senior at Wagner High School.
My name is Jack Aldridge, and I'm also a senior at Wagner High School.
You're watching I Want Answers on RSU Public TV.
And welcome back to I Want Answers, presented by GRDA. We're down to the final round of our competition tonight. The whirlwind round is coming right up.
Next up, it's the whirlwind round. In this round, the trailing team gets to pick from one of 3 categories, and they get to choose whether they wish to answer the category's questions themselves or force the other team to answer them. The team will have 60 seconds to answer as many questions as possible, and then the other team gets their turn at one of 3 remaining categories. Each correct answer is worth 10 points. If any team correctly answers all 10 questions, they receive 10 bonus points.
All right, well, Tahlequah Sequoyah, your team is trailing right now, so you get to pick out of one of these 3 categories: titles, ends in ish, and fairy tales.
Fairy tales.
Fairy tales for yourself, or would you like to give it to Wagner?
For us.
For you. All right, fairy tales it is. And here we go. Remember, time starts after I read the first question. The big 3 in fairy tales are Hans Christian Andersen, Charles Perrault, and the brothers Grimm. Which one wrote about the Emperor's New Clothes?
Hans Christian Andersen.
Correct. Little Red Riding Hood.
Brothers Grimm.
Incorrect. The Ugly Duckling.
Brothers Grimm.
Incorrect. Hansel and Gretel.
Grimm.
Correct. Bluebeard.
Hans Christian Andersen.
Incorrect. Rumpelstiltskin.
Hans Christian Andersen.
Incorrect. The Princess and the Pea.
Hans Christian Andersen.
Correct. Sleeping Beauty.
Grimm Brothers.
Incorrect. Rapunzel.
Hans Christian Andersen.
Incorrect. The Little Mermaid.
Hans Christian Andersen.
Correct. All right. Great job. All right. So now we have Wagner. You get to choose between the categories: titles, ends in ish, or rodent, marsupial, or primate.
Ends in ish.
Ends in ish. All right. I'm curious about this one too. All right. Name the word that I define that ends in ish. To put an end to, often in terms of slavery.
Abolish.
Correct. Excruciating suffering or pain.
Anguish.
Correct. To expel from a place or condemn to exile.
Banish.
Correct. A glossy, transparent coating.
Finish.
Incorrect. Treat as dear, or a 1966 hit song by the Association.
Cherish.
Correct. To make poor.
Impoverish.
Correct. To wield a sword in a threatening manner.
Pass.
To conquer.
Pass.
To compromise the reputation of.
Diminish.
Incorrect. A priest's aegis.
Perish.
Correct. All right. Great job, both teams. We are going to go back to speed, but let's see what the score. 3 rounds. The score stands currently at 80 Sequoyah and 340 for Wagner. Here comes some speed questions to wrap this game up. What medical specialist was meant in this line? I went to an optimist about my eye problem, and he said he just knew. Sequoyah?
An optometrist?
Correct. The taking up of a gas by a solid or liquid, or the taking up of a liquid by a solid, is called what? Wagner?
Absorption.
Correct. What kind of radar enables meteorologists to measure wind speed and actually look inside a thunderstorm to see a tornado forming? Sequoyah?
Doppler.
Correct. We need that in Oklahoma. All right, turtles have exceptional night vision due to the large number and concentration of what kind of photoreceptors in their retinas? Wagner?
Cones.
Incorrect. Nothing? The correct answer is rods. All right. What heteronym can indicate a compartment for an animal in a barn, a booth used by a vendor, a small chamber where you can shower, a pew in a church, or Sequoyah?
A stall.
Correct. In the 19th century, industrial enterprises operating out of places like New Bedford, Martha's Vineyard, and Nantucket directly contributed to the near extinction of certain species of what marine animals? Wagner?
Whale.
Correct. Early in American history, the southern states succeeded in their drive to have the permanent U.S. capital adjacent to what river? Wagner?
Mississippi.
Incorrect. Sequoyah?
Potomac.
Correct. Potomac. What is the largest of the African Great Lakes? Wagner?
Lake Victoria.
Correct. A deficiency of vitamin D or a lack of calcium are the most common causes of the softening. Sequoyah?
Scurvy.
Incorrect. Softening of bones in children, name this disease. Wagner?
Rickets.
Rickets is correct. What is the sum of the stars on the first U.S. flag and the number of stars on the flag when Dwight Eisenhower was elected president? Wagner?
61.
Correct. 61 is correct. What queen is remembered, among other things, for expelling the Muslims and Jews from Spain, instituting the Spanish Inquisition, and requiring that Native Americans be treated as persons? Wagner?
Queen Isabel.
Correct. Isabella. In what story by H.G. Wells do subterranean Morlocks live on Eloi? Anyone? Sequoyah?
1989.
Incorrect. Correct answer is The Time Machine. And that bell concludes tonight's competition. The final score stands at 120 Sequoyah and 400 for Wagner. Both teams did a great job, and Wagner, you are our winners, so you will advance to the next round of our competition. We'll see them again in a few weeks. Thank you, teams, for playing, and thank you, audience, for joining us as we showcase the knowledge of our local Green Country High School academic teams. Be sure to follow I Want Answers on Facebook and Instagram, and remember, you can always catch up on past episodes anytime at rsu.tv. We'll see you next time for another exciting competition on I Want Answers.
I Want Answers is presented by the Grand River Dam Authority. Additional funding provided by the Gerald H. Westby Jr. Foundation, RCB Bank, the Muscogee Creek Nation, the Tulsa Port of Catoosa, Advanced Research Chemical, Rogers State University, and viewers like you. Thank you.